Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Dead Cat Puppet Show. Today we have two special guests. On our last episode, we asked for all of our viewers who are interested to send us a dead cat P.O. box. Well, we received a couple, and we are going to interview them concerning the daily events. Now, we know that the government in Egypt has become a thing of the past. But what we're really wondering is why, in all of these years of a dictatorship in Egypt, the United States has said nothing, neither has Britain or many other European countries. They have supported him and given him money and goods, and now all of a sudden he's a bad guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to interview Sharif Monsharraf and Dr. Bennett Houston of the Houston Laboratory of Human Science and Engineering. Shabib Buraf and Dr. Houston. Our first question for you, Dr. Houston, is what do you think is going to happen in Egypt?
Well, let me tell you something, sir. Do you have any idea? 2.5 million barrels a day goes right through the Suez Canal. Now let me ask you something, mister. Do you know what this means? Do you know what this means on a global scale for the price of gas you pay? You have no idea. Now let me ask you something. Why do you think the United States government has supported a dictator for 25 years? I'll tell you why. Because of the oil, man. It's the oil. 2.5 billion gallons a day goes up and down the Suez Canal. Actually, it only goes up or down one direction, pal, to your gas tank. And let me ask you, you don't think there's going to be problems? I might be a dead cat, but I will tell you what, we have big problems brewing, and we have no idea what to do. Now,
pardon me, but I think you talked a little too much there, pal. We're gonna ask Mustafa Sharif here what he thinks about the current state of events in Egypt, and we're gonna get his personal opinion on the streets.
Well, let me tell you, we have been the slave digger pyramid builders of a dictator for as long as we can remember. Now let me tell you something about democracy. I never know what it was, and I don't know now. But what I do know is that you people are in a bad straits because Egypt is primarily a world eruption of fire. And let me tell you something, pal. This is not going to go smoothly. We of the Egyptian world of individuals who like their freedom like everybody else don't like a dictator, and we're not going to take it anymore. Don't you understand? Don't you understand? We want democracy. Maybe not your style. Maybe not your style of democracy, but what we want is democracy, and we want it now. Democracy now.
Now, it seems as though you are getting pretty upset over this subject, Mustafa Sharif. Now, Dr. Houston, it seems to me that a style of democracy in some strange way favors dictators and the like. So, Dr. Houston, what do you think about this whole problem of dictators in the 21st century in our democratic consciousness?
Well, let me tell you, pal, I have been doing experiments genetically in the lab for years, and there are three types of people. There are only three types of people. There are the people that work, there are the people that bank, and there are the people that run the money back and forth, and that's it. So don't get any wise ideas, pal. This is oil. This is money. This is the center of distribution of an entire oil network. Pull your head out of the sand, man. We've done some testing in the past, and we'll do some testing in the future at the Houston laboratory. But let me tell you what, if I can tell you one thing, the academic standard wants to see the great world order of economies flourishing and capitalizing on oil. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, Mr. Houston, don't you think you're a little concerned? Don't you think you're a little too concerned about oil? Don't you think that this has become a little bit crazy at this point? Don't you think people could come up with a different energy source than sucking oil out of the ground? Mr. Musab Sharif? Well, I drive a taxi cab in Cairo, and I really can't tell you how much oil means to the rest of the world, but I'll tell you what it means to Egypt. It means that there will be people with their fingers in our political honey jar for years and years to come. What are you thinking, man? Suez Canal, World War II.